Since the introduction of bottled water into our society by the major beverage companies, bottled water has turned into the second most purchased drink after sodas. The escalating rate of bottled water purchase has caused consequences that are not reflected in the product's overall image. By and large, bottlers persist in selling their waters because they are pure, clean, filtered, or otherwise superior to other water sources. This event has placed this company in competition against each other, and, at least in the developed world, with large public-funded municipal systems to overcome this competition. Bottlers market their products as cleaner than municipal supplies. In China, the biggest bottled water company is Nongfu Spring. The company was started in 1996 and started by bottling water from the Thousand Island Lake, also known as Qiandao Lake. In 2012, it became the most popular bottled water company in the country. And nowadays, they sell a large variety of products along their bottled water, which still requires pumping from water bodies.
I'm the reporter from Yunhui News. We managed to get an interview with the CEO of Nongfu Springs. Looking forward to it. From reports, we have heard that the extraction of water of Nongfu Spring is highly damaging to the environment. How would you report to this question?
Our extraction place is 50 meters away from the park, so the extraction will not affect the park landscape and wild animals. We have developed better infrastructures in a small area of the park to lessen our environmental footprint and reduce disruptions to the ecosystem, such as building roads for machines to come without harming the wildlife. In our bottling water process, we only ever extract water from the lake through pumps. The rest of the processing occurs in our facilities away from the lake to avoid contamination. Pollution to the lake mainly comes from surrounding agriculture and industrial processes. We do our best to ensure that our bottling process does not contaminate the lake, and the byproducts of our filtration and treatment are safely disposed of in accordance with state standards.
According to recent reports, Nongfu Spring has been exposed to a garbage siege at one of its water sources in Danjiangkou, Hubei province, with all kinds of household garbage scattered near the water intake, including a large number of suspected discarded medicine bottles. In order to win back trust from customers, I suggest opening water sources and releasing data to both professional authorities and public voluntary NGOs to allow for third-party examinations. Highlighting public supervision and participation can also increase the transparency of the enterprise, keeping all the environmental information overt.
From a survey done in 2020, most of the citizens believe bottled water is healthier than tap water. Would you agree or disagree with that?
In terms of our bottled water, we can guarantee the quality of our product. It is healthy and full of minerals. The first edition of the World Health Organization Guidelines for Drinking Water Quality points out that human body must absorb a certain amount of minerals and trace elements from drinking water, of which the typical intake of calcium and magnesium is about 5% to 20% of the total needs of adults. In addition, food cooked in purified water loses a lot of minerals, including up to 60% of magnesium and calcium. Thus, our bottled water is a valuable source of important nutrients. Magnesium in drinking water is known to have higher bioavailability than that obtained from food and is more clinically important. Magnesium is involved in a variety of different physiological functions, including the inhibition of enzymes, the regulation of cell proliferation, cell cycles, and differentiation. Most correlation studies have shown that cardiovascular disease and stroke mortality are lower in people with higher magnesium concentrations in drinking water. In Nongfu Shanquan bottled water, there is enough magnesium for adults' daily intake. Also, we have proved there is almost no bacteria inside the bottled water. It is extremely safe for infants to use and drink.
Qiandao Lake is a famous water source known as the first beautiful water in the world. The Nongfu Spring natural water familiar to consumers claims to draw water from here. But now, in addition to being a water source, Qiandao Lake also receives a large number of tourists every day. When tourists board a cruise ship to enjoy the scenery of Qiandao Lake, they can often clearly spot garbage floating by the lake shores. The garbage originates from the city and is mostly due to littering by both residents and tourists. Litter thrown from boats often washes up on the beach of surrounding islands and pollutes the environment and water. In recent tests, the water quality of Qiandao Lake exceeded the standard levels of nitrogen, phosphorus, or organic matter. Excessive nitrogen and phosphorus mainly cause eutrophication of water bodies and breed algae. If cyanobacteria and algal blooms erupt, a large number of aquatic organisms will die due to lack of oxygen, and the water body will emit foul odors. Such development will also pose a serious threat to drinking water sources. In addition to greatly increasing the difficulty and cost of treatment in drinking water plants, water affected by algal blooms can cause damage to multiple organ systems, including the liver, kidneys, and nerves. Toxins secreted by algae entering the human body with drinking water can seriously endanger human health, even in microscopic quantities. However, Nongfu Spring has always regarded Qiandao Lake as one of its primary water sources, as the company has always claimed that it is the only one in China that takes water from natural and excellent water sources and delivers it to consumers. The water source is polluted. Is it safe to drink the Nongfu Spring?
Bottled water is convenient for sure. However, the massive amount of plastic bottles can negatively affect the global environment. Many of us are interested in how to process these used bottles.
We have certainly known the negative effects of bottled water to the environment. Nongfu Spring plans to collect and recycle 1 million 19-liter polycarbonate barrels each year. The barrels will then be shredded, washed, and replated by plastic recycling company Oxerray. Covestro will then convert the processed plastic products into high-performance recycled plastics for use in industries such as electronics, home appliances, and automotives.
According to the plastics manufacturing industry, it takes around 3.4 megajoules of energy to make a typical 1-liter plastic bottle, cap, and packaging. Based on sales volume of Nongfu Spring in 2019, nearly 7 billion bottles of water were being sold, implying that producing enough plastic to bottle 7 billion liters of water required approximately 23 billion megajoules of energy. Because the barrel of oil contains around 6,000 megajoules, these plastic bottles require the equivalent of more than 3 million barrels of oil. All this data and facts I just mentioned are incredible and can become strong evidence of accusing Nongfu Spring for severe environmental damage. Our main concern is how much of this plastic waste was recycled. There's actually no way to know. According to the National Development and Reform Commission, China's plastic recycling rate was only 23% in 2013. There is a common misconception in China that plastic beverage bottles do not go to waste because there are always scavengers who collect them and sell them for money. Although bottles are marked recyclable, not all bottles make it into the recycling system. They are either mixed in with other garbage in landfill or incinerated, or they end up in forests, farmlands, rivers, lakes, and oceans. In fact, NDRC data show that China's plastics recycling rate has been declining over the past 5 years. This may be due to the previous global decline in oil prices, which has made plastic recycling become less profitable. Even those bottles that are recycled by scavengers go to illegal plastic recycling, since it is difficult for these small illegal workshops to meet industrial wastewater and gas emission standards, which may bring new pollution problems in the future.